Hello everybody, welcome to a little yoga stretch out in the country in St. Helena. Namaste. So let's just start by sitting up nice and tall. And you might even want to sit up on a block or a bolster or fold some towels if you're by the pool like me, just so that your hips are maybe above your knees. I don't have that with me right now. So I'll just try to sit up nice and tall, bringing my hips forward a little bit. Notice that little tilt that you can move forward. Place your hands by your hips, lift yourself up, let your spine hang a little bit, lean forward slightly, and then just set yourself down. Rest your hands on your knees and just close your eyes, and let's see if we can arrive here a little bit more softly. Let's take a few deep breaths, breathing in through your nose. A few exhales out of your mouth, maybe even a sigh. Breathing in. And one more time. And perhaps seal your lips and continue to breathe through your nose. You may even really start to ignite an ujjayi breath, feeling a little constriction in the back of your throat. And we'll start with just a little meditation to bring our nervous system in a more relaxed state, letting go of all of our thoughts about what happened yesterday and what you still have to plan for tomorrow. That'll all be there. Right now, we're just going to settle into where we are together in this moment. So start to notice where you feel the breath most alive in your body. Perhaps it's your nostrils, the back of your throat. You might even place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Breathing into the hand that's on your belly, feeling your belly expand. Breathing into the hand on your heart, feeling your chest lift. And with each exhale, feeling the hand relax with the belly or the chest. Notice any places in your body with obvious tension. See if you can soften and just release some of that tension. Sending an intention of relax to your hips, your knees, your shoulders. Just gently softening down your back. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing your tongue, all the facial muscles. Forehead. You might want to bring your hands together now and just rub your hands together. And place your hands over your eyes, feeling that energy in your hands. A sense of darkness, and yet bringing in kindness to this moment. Gratitude for getting yourself to this place of self-care. Relax your hands back onto your knees. And let's just do a little bit of neck release. So drop your chin to your chest. Breathe in here. Like you can breathe into your back or the back of your neck. As you exhale, come back to center. Now looking up, you can leave your eyes closed, more of an intention of looking up into the back of your head. Just raise your chin. And exhale, bring it back to center. Drop your chin. Inhale. Exhale back to neutral. Inhale as your chin comes up. Let your chest lift a little with that inhale. Exhale all the way back down, chin to chest. And one more time, inhaling up. And exhale, chin to neutral. Let's gaze over to the right shoulder and over to the left. Inhale, gaze over to the right, maybe even a little farther this time. And exhale all the way back over to the other side. Inhaling here. Exhaling back to neutral. Now let's take your arms with you as you come over to the side, placing your right hand behind your hip, right hip, left hand on the knee, and sit up nice and tall, like there's a rope, a tie onto the crown of your head, reaching you higher out of your waist. And gently gaze toward your right shoulder, less craning your neck and more just a gentle gaze. Deep breath in, imagine yourself growing taller. And as you exhale, squeeze your belly like you're wringing out your waist. One more inhale. And exhale, come back to center. And just sit for a moment in stillness and neutral center. Relaxing your knees, your ankles. Let's go over to the other side. Inhaling. Exhaling, start to turn. Left hand places on the back of your left hip on the floor. Right hand grabs gently onto the outside of your right leg. Sit up nice and tall and start to twist at the waist. Chest follows. Gaze follows. Again, not craning your neck, just gently. More in the waist and the shoulders. You can use your right hand as a lever to gently go a little bit deeper. Deep breath in. Filling the belly with air. Exhale, squeeze the belly button to the spine. Inhale again. And back to center. Beautiful. Now take your hands and pivot over to the right, placing your hands. We'll end up in tabletop position. Knees over ankles, knees planted on the ground, hips over knees. Flex your feet and engage your toes here so that you're on the balls of your feet, shoulders stacked over wrist, fingers really wide, stretch them even wider. And press all of your knuckles into the ground. The thumb knuckle, the index finger, the middle, the ring, the pinky, press them in. Now lift the base knuckles off of the ground, noticing like it's almost if you've got a smooth stone under the palm of your hand. Now press those knuckles down. Lift your knees off so you're hovering, knees even with your ankles. Head nice and long and just hold right here. Bring your belly in. Press your hands into the earth, rolling your back a little bit more open. And then lower down your knees. Spread them wide. Tops of the feet down. Sink back into child's pose. Reaching your hands forward. Resting your forehead to the mat. And exhale. Relax your hips. Hips driving towards your heels. It feels better to spread your legs, knees a little bit more open so that your belly and ribs are resting on your inner thighs. Maybe chest is touching. If you'd like a little bit more stretch under the shoulders, maybe chin touches looking forward. Breathe into that space between your shoulders. Forehead back to the mat. And then bring yourself back up. Bring your knees together onto the balls of your feet. And now press up. First downward dog. Start to walk here. Walking both feet. Shoulders pressing away down towards the toes. Imagine that they're reaching towards your toes. Relax your head and neck. Shaking your head yes and no. And now find some stillness. Now drop the right heel down, bending the left knee. Get a nice deep stretch onto the right calf. And then switch. Left heel drives down, right knee bends. Keep pressing evenly with both hands onto the mat, pressing away from the front. And then lower and lift both onto your tippy toes, and then bend your knees, sinking back towards your heels, gaze forward, and walk towards the top of your mat. And then let yourself hang. Feet are hip distance apart. Let yourself hang here. Deep bend in the knee is beautiful if you'd like that feeling. Maybe grab opposite elbows, letting your head rest again. Shake it, yes, no. Maybe even it feels good to swing side to side. Just rest here for a moment. Feeling the heaviness and gravity lengthening your spine towards the feet. And then release your hands, heel toe your feet together, toes touch, heels a little bit of a space, and slowly, slowly roll all the way up. Vertebrae last one over the other. Shoulders come open, head comes tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Fingers wide here as you shine them forward. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, bring them down the center line of your body, grazing the forehead, grazing your lips, heart center with the hands. Inhale them up again. Inhale high. Exhale, fold forward, bringing the hands down. Plant them down, and then inhale, half lift. Fingertips touching in line with your toes, or even placing your hands on your shins. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Belly comes high towards the spine. And then release, plant your hands, step back. High plank, hold here. Shift your heels back towards the end of the mat. Gazing at the fingertips, neck is long. And then downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Think of the energy going from your tailbone through your legs, down out your heels into the earth. And then the opposite direction from your hips, up your spine, through your shoulders, arms, hands to the earth. Like an upside down V. Gaze forward onto your tippy toes, sink down deeply and step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Katasana, chair pose, sink your knees in, arms come up. Like you're sitting into a chair and holding on to the sun. Bring your hands to heart center. And twist to your right hand side, left elbow onto the outside of your right knee. Keep your knees even. You may even look down to your toes. Oftentimes one knee comes forward, so even them out. Press into the hands and gaze over your right shoulder. Maybe even sinking down a little bit deeper. If you'd like here to open your arms and fly, right arm comes high. Hands back to prayer and fold over. Release, forward fold. Halfway lift. Utkatasana, again, chair pose, sinking down, arms come up. Arms in line with the shoulders, in line with the hips. And hands to heart center, prayer twist to the left, hooking the right elbow on the outside of the right knee, opening up over the left shoulder. Check your knees and toes. Do any evening out that you need to, and open here. Bring the hands back and forward fold. Half lift. Plant your hands, step back. High plank, holding, and come forward onto your tippy toes and slowly start to lower down halfway. Flip onto the tops of your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option there too, rather than a full chaturanga, is to come forward into your high plank. Hinge forward like we did. Drop your knees and lower yourself all the way down, chin to chest. And then pull back into cobra. And lower down. Onto the balls of your feet. Press yourself up from your knees. Downward facing dog. Breaths, 3 deep breaths here. Reconnecting with the breath. And any stories, notice any thoughts that are starting to arise. Inhale your right leg high. And let's stack the right hip over as you open up. Stacking the knee over the hip. And then bring it through knee to nose as you hinge forward to high plank position. And inhale the right leg high again. Now bring it to your right elbow. And right leg high comes up again. Now bring it under to the left elbow. And last time up. And then bring it through. Plant the foot. Left hand plants. Right arm comes open. Driving your right heel towards the midline. Pulling, feeling a little bit of an energetic pull here. Place the hand down. Step back. High plank. Lower down, your choice. Cobra or upward facing dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Onto the left side. Couple breaths here. Left leg comes high. Open it up, stacking the hip, bending the knee, gazing over the left shoulder, under the left shoulder, and then still evening your shoulders down. And then bring the knee forward to your nose. And left leg high again. And then left knee to left elbow. Hover. And back up. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Hover. And back up. Left knee all the way through. Right hand stays down. Left hand opens up. Reach apart. Again, drive your feet together. See that little subtle move there? Plant the hands. Step back. Chaturanga. High plank. Lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Inhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Notice when your heart rate starts to elevate, what happens in your head? What thoughts start to arise? Is it thoughts about plans you have? Or how are you doing in the yoga practice? Try to bring it back to noticing your breath. Right now I'm noticing something crawling on my shoulder, but it's just going to be there. Gaze, oh, you can see it I think probably. Gaze forward onto your toes, scoot down nice and deep, pushing away from the front, step forward. Halfway lift and forward fold. All the way up to Tadasana. First high, hands to heart center, and then reach your hands down. As if you're rooting, like the fingertips have energy, strings connecting to the earth. Inhale, arms up high, and forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back. High plank. Lower down, halfway or all the way. Inhale up, cobra or upward facing dog. And lower. Termite. Back to downward facing dog. The beauty of being in nature and yet the challenges of bugs. Leave no trace, cause no harm. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. This time coming up to high crescent. Arms come up. Holding here. Bend your left knee a little bit to notice the drop in your tailbone here, and then straighten the leg a little bit more, maintaining the integrity of the core as in one straight line. And now we open up to Warrior Two. Left foot pivots. Check your foot now. Knee not falling inward, but pushing out towards the middle to edge toes. Sink down a little bit deeper. You even maybe notice whether you're leaning forward a little bit. Try to keep your shoulders above your wrists. Arms reaching out nice and strong. Gaze over the right fingertips. And then reverse warrior. Right arm comes up high. Keep your knee in that nice steep bend. Reaching up. Extend still with your left arm so you're not collapsing down. You want to maintain flow through both sides of the body, so nice and long on the ribs. And then cartwheel down. Plant your hands, step back, high to low. Pardon me. I don't want to lay on the bug. Inhale up. Exhale down. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Arms come up. Sink down nice and low. Again, bend the back knee to find that tilt. A drop. And then straighten the back leg. Feel the nice stretch in your right psoas, reaching up while you still pull the shoulders down, bringing the ribs in. And now open up Warrior Two. Right foot pivots. Find your station. Gaze. Make sure you can see your big toes. Looking over the left fingertips, reaching away from you, dropping the shoulders. And now reverse warrior. Still long on both sides. And then cartwheel down, high to low, upward to lower. And meeting in downward facing dog. Gaze forward onto your toes, sink down low, come up to the top of the mat, halfway lift, forward fold, and slowly roll all the way up, hands up high, and bring them down from your forehead to your lips, to your heart. Breath of gratitude. Inhale, arms tall. Exhale, forward fold. Dropping down. Inhale, half lift. Step back or float back. High to low. Upward facing dog or cobra. And down. One more time through. Inhale, right leg high. Bring it through, low lunge. Inhale, up to crescent. Open up Warrior Two. And reverse. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel down. High plank to lower down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And right into the left side. Inhale, leg up. And low lunge. Inhale up to crescent. Exhale, open up Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down. High to low. And downward facing dog. When you're ready, bring your feet to the edges of the mat. Push yourself back a little bit so you're a little bit closer and more balanced. Reach the right hand back to the left ankle. Gaze under the left armpit. And switch. Plant the right hand and reach the left through, outside of the right ankle. And back to center. And now bring your feet a little bit closer in, and then start to lower your knees, wide edge, and then toes touch and sink back for child's pose again. You can keep your arms nice and long here, or you might even want to reach them back if your forehead is comfortable here. If your arms did come back, perhaps interlace your hands and then start to lift them over your head. And then bring them back down. Place them on the ground. Slowly press yourself up. And then move through and come to seated position with your legs long in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall. Maybe even like we did earlier, place your hands here. Lift yourself up. Shimmy a little bit. Scoot back. Drop onto your sit bones. Place your hands on your thighs. Sit up nice and tall. Again, there's a string here pulling you up. And just rest your hands palms up in this pose with your feet flexed. Danda staff pose. Similar to Tadasana, legs straight, feet rooted. Even though it's air, it's like you're pressing them flat against a wall. Feeling the energy in your hands. Focusing on any subtle tingling or movements in your hands. Now slowly start to walk your hands forward. Keeping your back straight, so don't curl over. Keeping your shoulders long away from your ears. And just start to lean forward. And if that's where you stop before you start to roll, stop there. Or you can go a little bit farther, maybe grab for your toes using your peace fingers, grabbing the outside of your toes. Or you can just keep your hands here on your shins. Even grab fabric on your clothes if it helps with the grip. Now bring your chest through a little bit as if you're doing a half lift here. And then walk yourself down to gently fold over. If you have a block or a pillow or bolster, you might want to lay that across your legs so that your chest has some support. Otherwise, find your comfort zone a little bit towards your edge, but not a strain, just something that feels like you're working past ease, and then find ease in that moment. Inhale, half lift again, shoulders away, and fold over one more time. You might even rest your forehead in your hands if that's available and you didn't have a bolster. Slowly walk yourself up. I'm going to face you now so that you can see my legs, but you can stay where you were. Bringing the right leg long in front of you and left sole of the foot on the inside of your right leg. Really close heel into the crotch area. Maybe even pressure there. So pressing the sole of the foot into the inner thigh active against the leg. So we're not resting like this, but really active. The heel, while your foot is flexed, drive your heel down into the earth a little bit. The leg starts to come up. Now press the leg down. So everything's very active. Inhale your arms up high. Reach forward like you're holding a beach ball out to someone. Reach forward, and wherever your body lies, find that rest. So you may be up higher. Your hands may be just flat onto the earth, or you have a little bit more opening in your back. Usually you have opening in the back or the front, not always both. So if you're watching somebody next to you that is like completely laying down, notice in other postures where you're a little bit farther along. So it's not a question of better, it's a question of just observe And be kind about what you see in your own body and others. You never know somebody else's journey. Bring that back up, and placing the left hand on the outside of the right knee, just gaze over the right shoulder. And come back to center, and now switch. Left foot goes into the inner thigh, active again. Flex the foot, drive the heel in, and start to gaze left. And then back to center. We did it the other order that time. Keep you on your toes, or I forgot. Lift your hands up high and start to reach forward and forward and forward. All the way down wherever you rest. And again, you may be right here. If you're here and your hands are on the ground, still press your chest forward, rocking your hips a little bit forward. And if you have any discomfort in your knee, just back off a little bit, or even bring your foot a little bit towards the lower half of your leg. Sitting up nice and tall. Can you go a little bit taller, longer, spine long? Come up a little bit one more time, half lift, folding down again. Wherever you are, breathing into any tension spots, inviting the soften. Come up again, and then bring this leg out forward. Inhale, arms high. One more time, open, forward, forward, and drop. And then slowly walk yourself back. I'm going to go back onto my mat. We're going to just slowly go all the way down. This time you are allowing a C curve in your body. Come all the way down, lower so that your low back touches, heels still driving in. Now the middle back, shoulder blades, and then let your arms fall back. The back of your arms open. Feet come onto the mat so your knees are above your ankles. Just rest here for a moment. Widen your feet to the edges of the mat and let your knees touch. Just allowing a subtle settling of your pelvic region and your sacrum. Your body knows how to heal itself. Sometimes you just have to remember the healing postures. And this is one of them. Especially if you sit in an office all day. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but they're so beautiful. Bring your feet back to center and shimmy your shoulders down so your fingertips can graze your heels. So you might need to move your feet a little closer. And then when you're ready, we're going to do a pelvic thrust, so bridge pose. Start with pressing your feet into the ground, heels and the balls of your feet, and hips start gently coming up. You can hold here. Maybe your hands press down to the earth, or you can bend your elbows, hands facing each other, and press the elbows in so your upper arms pressing into the earth, hips coming up a little higher. Keep your head nice and straight, lifting your chest a little bit closer to the chin. If you'd like a little more, you can even interlace your hands under your sacrum on the floor, pressing up a little bit more. But either way is comfortable. You can even use one of those bolsters to rest your tailbone on. That's more comfortable. And when you're ready, release your hands, your shoulders, and slowly unroll your spine all the way down. And then let's come into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees open wide. If this feels like a bit of a stretch, take your hands and make fists and place them really high up under your hips, like the saddlebag area, and it just gives you a little cushioning here. Now explore what it feels like to drive your heels together gently. Pressing, 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 and then release. Just feel that extra release you can have there. You can do that with all the parts of your body, like flexing the hands, Flexing the arms nice and tight, and then release. Release the hips a little bit more. Release the shoulders. Bring your hands, using your hands, bring your knees back together again. And then knees over your hips. Open your arms to a T position. I'm a little bit in the scrub over here. And then gently, you might even shift your hips to the left here, using your toes to elevate you. Shift your hips a couple inches to the left. And then bring your knees back up and slowly supine twist. Let your knees drop over to the right side. And they may not go all the way over. You may even cross your legs for like the eagle leg posture with the left leg wrapped around the right for a deeper stretch. If it's available, gaze towards your left hand. And your shoulders may or may not be all the way on the ground. Just imagine that they're there. Imagine that your shoulders are relaxed, supported by the earth. There's no right pose, there's no right one posture. All of our bodies are different. And on any given day, we'll have access to one pose and not another. And when you're ready, come back to center, bringing your hips back to neutral for a moment. And then shimmy them to the right a little bit. Knees come back up and drop them over to the left, gazing over to the right-hand side. A couple deep breaths. And with every time you exhale, see if you can let go a little bit more. Noticing where you might have started to hold tension. Try to let it go. Come back to center, feet on the ground, even out your hips. When you're ready, we'll find our Shavasana. Extend your legs long, maybe even a little bit wider apart than normal, and arms long. I like to shimmy my shoulders under a little bit behind me so that my chest is very open and the arms naturally just come open, palms facing the sky. And now let's first try tightening up all parts of our body, starting with the feet and the hands. Really see if you can tense and hold, and then release. Take any last minute fidgets or even postures that your body is asking for. And when you're ready, you can meet us in Shavasana. And let your breath just be neutral here. Relax any efforts. And just subtly return to gently observing the breath. Again, not doing or guiding, just observing. Returning to where in the body you feel the breath most present. It may be the same place or somewhere new. Option to stay with the breath or open up your awareness to sensations happening around you. Sounds that you hear, feelings touching your skin, the breeze, just the support and pressure of the earth beneath you. And if you find the mind starts to wander, as it's normal to do, just bring it back to the breath or sound or touch. And if it's still challenging, again, you may put one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Or you may even note the things that you're hearing. Birds, music, maybe a car in the distance, dogs. Again, returning to the anchor of breath or sound, naming, or even counting. Counting the breath, counting the sounds, without getting lost or taken down a story lane. Just noticing sound. And I'm in beautiful nature, so the sounds all feel very pleasant to me. But wherever you are, notice the tendency of your thoughts when something sounds pleasant or unpleasant. Notice any movements in the body, constriction or warmth from something that feels pleasant or unpleasant. Or neither pleasant or unpleasant. And you can stay here in Shavasana for as long as you like. Or if you're ready to begin or end your day, gently start to bring your knees towards your chest, wrapping your arms around your knees, squeezing them a little bit, lifting the tailbone a little off. Forehead maybe reaches towards the knees for a little squeeze, maybe to rock side to side. And then rock onto your right or left side, whatever's easier. I'm going to come this way so I can see you. And just rest for a moment in this fetal posture. A posture of safety and protection and nurturing. And when you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You might want to even keep your eyes closed. And then bringing your hands resting on your knees. Relaxing your shoulders. Placing a hand on the heart, and maybe even the other hand on top of that. Opening your heart. Kindly opening your heart to the challenges of the day, of the year. And yeah, this has been hard. These times are challenging. Bring your hands at heart center prayer and bring your thumbs to forehead, your third eye, seat of enlightenment, where you see more than you give yourself credit for. As you find stillness, all the clutter of the thoughts start to melt away. Bring your hands to your lips, speaking your truth, and yet still finding kindness in your words. And now bring your hands to heart center. And open your eyes and imagine that you're sitting here with me and we have locked eyes. I see you. I see your struggles. And I see us both finding ways out. May you find ease and peace. I hope you have a beautiful day or night. And wherever you are in this world, from my heart to you, be kind to yourself.